Welcome to the Massachusetts Anomalous Light Research Project by me, Damien Ichabod. What is that? I'm a UFO buff and a former paranormal investigator that didn't do much really, but got psychically attacked bad. So I got out of that field right away. But I've always been interested in UFOs, especially ones in our state, and I've seen my fair share of UFOs. I've seen some weird shit on a camera, outside of a camera, both without a camera, you name it. I have seen bizarre crap, and I will go into it first before I go into my research project, which is done to scientifically prove these things are real through evidence and film it while I'm doing it. I've done it in the past, but it's not been so good because of the fact it hasn't gotten a lot of views and it was very inconsistent. Out this window when I was a kid, I saw the first UFO when I was 8. It was a weird pipe-shaped thing moving around. Bunch of pipes connected to each other in a odd, almost random way. Can't explain it. Don't know what it was. And never seen anything quite that weird since then. There's a window behind this wall, which is right next to the front of the house where the door is. Little tiny window. One night around 3:30, I was going to bed because I stayed up too late. Back in 2008, I saw this big, bright light at the end of the street. Couldn't figure out what it was. The next day it was gone. No sign of a light being there or construction being there the previous night. Never could explain it. In 2008, in November, I saw what I had seen before in 2006, which I haven't explained yet. Bizarre star-like light hovering in the sky, flickering really quickly, significantly more bright than your average star, but not so bright you couldn't tell it isn't a star, which is weird. It was on an overcast night. I saw 3 of these below the atmosphere then. As me and my parents drove around to a restaurant, we circled around them and they appeared in a different direction as we were going east then north. So these were not celestial objects because they'd be in the same position no matter what, no matter which way we were driving. I hope that's right. Maybe it isn't. But anyway, I've seen these things a lot, and they're just like stars. They flicker, and some stars look just like them, which is very confusing. They move suddenly, they change their altitude in the atmosphere suddenly, they appear and disappear. Sometimes they move like planes without lights across the sky. I consider all these things, no matter what the color and shape of them, star-like UFOs. They look like stars, but they behave differently. I've seen a whole bunch since 2006. I've documented a very rare kind of UFO called a banana-type UFO. Seen in this direction outside one night, March last year, around 7 p.m., up in the sky, didn't move until it changed direction suddenly to appear in the position of a star when I wasn't looking at it. Did some evidence by photographing that on camera. It was in one of my videos on my YouTube channel now. Enhanced it with a bunch of filters, and it looked artificial looking. Don't know what it was. So yeah, I've seen some weird shit. But seeing weird shit is not enough. You need to document your evidence to be taken seriously these days. That's what science says. So I am a lot more rigid with my investigations than I used to be years ago. Last few years I've adopted a very scientific method to disprove their UFOs or attempt to. First thing I do is this is my current sheet of information. There are 6 things that can be misidentified as UFOs. Stars, planets, planes, helicopters, and satellites. That's 5. There's 2 kinds of satellites. One that flares up and one that doesn't. Stars, they move across the sky in an arc pattern very slowly. You have to look for their patterns in the sky and see if they're in a different position later on that night. Really, the only way to prove that they're stars, unless you have planetarium software. I do. It helps a lot. Planets, same thing. You need planetarium software to prove it. Or you can see if they move across the sky the same way. Planes, they usually have a light that flickers on them, if not multiple lights. Some are very bright, some are very dark. Helicopters will probably make a sound if they're hovering. If they're so far away that you can't hear the sound, you probably won't see them anyway. Iridium flares are a kind of light from a satellite that reflects off the sun from some part of the satellite, and it makes it get bright, move across the sky, and get dimmer. If it flares up in brightness and then lowers in brightness slowly after a while, it's one of these. I've never seen one of these, but they get confused for UFOs all the time. The satellites themselves, they move very slowly across the sky. It take 15 minutes to go from one sky to another. They're kind of hard to prove. What I do to prove whether something is a UFO or not, I have to take those into account, and I have a checklist here. It's a big checklist with a bunch of questions and yes or no, and what to do if it's yes or no. If the thing moves erratically in the sky, right away I prove it's something unusual or an anomalous light or UFO, whatever you want to call it. If it doesn't, I go down. If it changes color or shape, it's proven to be something anomalous. If it doesn't, I go down. If it makes a sound, I think it could be anomalous. I'm not sure. If it doesn't, I eliminate it from the possibilities. If it appears or disappears, it could be anomalous, but not always. But if it doesn't, I go to the next part. If it stands totally still, without moving at all, it could be anomalous. If not, I go to the next part. If it's a cloudy night and it looks just like a star, it probably could be anomalous. If not, I go down to the next one. If it's moving in star-like, it's possibly anomalous. If not, I go down to the next one. Does software like Celestia or planetarium software like what's it called? Stellarium. Does it prove it's a star based off of its color, its shape, its position in the sky, its brightness? If so, it's debunked as a UFO. If not, then and only then do I consider it anomalous. I have a very rigid system in place here. Okay. My little system for doing investigations is as thus. I can't do them during the day. Obviously, you never see stuff like this at day. I go out at night around 7 or 8 p.m. I bring a camera, the one I'm filming this with, my sheet on my notebook, and I film myself investigating the night sky. And later on in this video, you'll see my investigation done sometime in the next 3 days. I don't know when it's going to happen right away now. I might actually do 3 and put them all in the same video. In the videos where I'm in the pitch dark area, I'm out on my porch, my flashlight is there obviously. I will be enhancing them using video editing software so you can see things. They'll be very artificial looking, but points of light will be very obvious because of this. This is how I do it. I film them and they're pitch black. I then use virtual dub to increase their brightness and contrast, and then I save them over the old video. That's what I do. I need to do that because my camera doesn't pick up on dark nights with lighting very well. If there's lights outside on a dark night, you won't see them through the camera unless I do serious modifications of the video afterwards. My camera just doesn't have a nighttime filming feature. It's a pretty basic digital camera. It's nothing spectacular. Important stuff as well is the directions of various lights in the sky. I have a key here showing off the directions, what's east, what's north, and the layout of my streets and my house, as well as the height of certain features in my house, my windows, my porch, off the ground in meters, not feet, because programs like Celestia don't use feet, they use the metric system. So I have to do it in the metric system. I have no problem with that. Admittedly, I'm not very used to the metric system, but whatever. During the investigation, I don't talk very loud. When I see an object, the first thing I do is I say in the video, I've seen it, then cut the video. Then I will start photographing the object to enhance it later with painting programs, allow me to see if it's artificial looking or not. Because I've figured out that dust, which appears a lot in the photos, even with the flash off, you can kind of identify it if you use the right filter, because there'll be a bunch of little black circles with white outlines around them. An actual object that's in the sky will be completely solid, and you'll see its real shape through it. So I photograph these lights with a special feature of my camera, allows you to photograph with a very long exposure. I only photograph lights that I think are unusual. They have to pass this long test, the yes or no thing I mentioned in the last part, for me to even think of doing that. So yeah, I have a very rigid system in place. At the end, I reveal my results after doing all the analysis of it, and then I post it on YouTube the next day, and I blog about it too. I had a blog called Terran Paranormal Alliance, which I write about paranormal stuff every once in a while. Very rarely though, it's not a big focus of me really. So it's like, I'll be really interested in what I'm doing. I've had some very weird experiences during UFO investigations, especially last year. I will get into them in the next part. Last year, during my UFO investigations, last September, odd stuff was happening. I captured on camera some very strange flickering lights in the sky. I have a video of, very enhanced though. I saw at least a few lights from the viewfinder that weren't seen by me outside the camera's viewfinder, and when I came back the next night and filmed in the same area, I didn't see them. But weirdest of all were two things last year. First of all, there was a very, very weird haze forming in the morning around 3:30 to 4:30 in the morning. Don't know what it was. Obscure, creepy looking too. It was like red stuff coming into the sky. 2 straight nights. One night was brilliant, very bright. Next night nothing happened. Next night not as bright. Another thing is, while my camera was off one night, a few days later, I heard a very messed up, unnatural sounding animal call coming out from near my front porch and the bushes outside of it. I was up in my bedroom doing the second half of the investigation, thank God, and out on my porch doing the first half. And this animal call was just messed up. I only heard it once. It sounded like a wildcat human hybrid animal call. Never recorded it, I just documented that I heard it. But no recordings of it or anything like that. I only heard it once. It was really fucked up. I've never heard anything like that since. Tonight, or tomorrow night, or the next night, or all three, depending on the weather and situations. Whether it's rainy, whether it's cloudy, whether it's clear. If it's rainy or cloudy, I can't do it, or might not be able to do it. If it's clear, I can do it. I'm going to do an outside investigation in my porch. But the investigations I did in my bedroom last year, I can't do them anymore. for a very good reason. I can't really explain it here. It's nothing to do with UFOs, but I'm very nervous of being in my own bedroom with my lights out and my eyes open due to something very odd that happened to me last year, which I won't get into. I don't want to. It's too personal. But let's just say I'd rather not be in my bedroom with the lights out at night anytime past midnight or at all. So I won't be doing an investigation from my bedroom this time. It's going to make things a little bit more difficult to get evidence, because I got most of the good evidence from my bedroom last time, not from the porch. Because when I'm in my bedroom, it's past midnight, like 3 or 4 in the morning, from 2 to 4 a.m. From the porch, it's like 7, 8 p.m., so it's the night before, so it's like... I think some of these things, these star-like UFOs I've been mentioning, I call them anomalous lights, that's what I call them. They are more likely to appear when no one is awake but you. It's a strange thing about them. I have evidence to suggest this. It's not just my own experiences. Weird star-like UFOs have been seen all over the country since 2009. A lot of these look, under a telescope, artificial. One appeared on one side of the sky one night, the other side of the sky the next night, and back on the first side of the sky the third night. And 3 nights in a row in one report. If I looked at all the reports of these, they happened in early morning and past midnight 95% of the time. It's weird. I had a name for these things. Terror stars. It's a strange name, but I thought of it. So yeah, I'm more likely to run into weird crap past midnight. It's weird. During the day, not so much. 8 or 9 p.m., not so much. But yeah, I can't wait to go out there and investigate it. I'm going to bring a flashlight with me. This time, I've never done it before. I'm going to wear sweatshirts, sweatpants and a sweatshirt jacket. That's because it's mosquito season up. Only because of that. If not, I wouldn't wear it. Probably be so cold if it wasn't mosquito season that I would have to wear it anyway. But I hope you enjoy this series of investigation videos. YouTube. Name Ichabod here. I just went out to start my nighttime investigation. It's about 8:20 right now. I haven't seen anything unusual yet. Hold on. There's a lot of bugs and birds out, but there isn't a lot of weird lights yet. Stars aren't visible tonight. It's cloudy, but what I'm looking for will appear on cloudy nights like a star, but it's extremely rare. So I'm doing my investigation right now. There it is. These are the things I brought out. Flashlight, just in case it gets really dark later on. I don't know how long I'm going to be out there. My notebook, which has should have brought out something to write with. Hold on. It's so cloudy out I can't see a thing right now. I don't know if that's going to clear up later on tonight. I thought I'd spend at least a half an hour out here every night in the next tonight and the next 2 nights. So see what I see and document what I see on this video cable. I've done this like 4 or 5 times before. I don't see much tonight. Besides bugs, they aren't paranormal, just annoying.
though. Unless I see something unusual, I will be definitely cutting the film now. You know, it makes no sense to go out here on a cloudy night like I'm doing now. There isn't anything out here. I don't see any stars. I don't see anything out of the ordinary. I got lucky with the previous investigations. I saw a UFO up that way, but you know, it's not very common you see them, so it's like a lot of nights you don't see anything. You don't see anything on most nights. It's cloudy nights like this are abysmal. So yeah, it's like I'm not noticing anything, and I don't want to stay out here much longer. Obviously, we're not going to have anything happen tonight. I have other videos I want to do tonight, but you know, this has been a real big waste of time. But there's one thing I want to get into really quickly before we leave, and I'm going to do that now. This street light you see here is something I mistake for UFOs all the time. It's not one. It's kind of reflecting in a weird way. That turns out later on to be a camera artifact. I tested it a couple of times, so I got to keep in mind that this is not anything unusual, even though it looks like one. Looks like something that could be unusual. It's not, and that's what I meant right here, not that. There's a couple of lights out here. So honestly, there ain't anything out here. I'm going to go back inside. Check you out. Be back 2 nights. It's around 9:35 on a Friday night. I am going to be doing my nighttime investigation now. I'll be out there for about an hour. I will be coming in till around 22 hours, 30 minutes, which is 10:38 p.m. It's a pretty clear night. Some clouds. There are a few stars out. And all of these are from constellations. Or most of these are from constellations I recognize. There's a plane. I certainly don't see anything out of the ordinary. These investigations begin very annoying at times. But when you see something out of the ordinary, you know it right away. At least from my experience. And by the way, it's Friday night, one night after the last part. And this place is filled with bugs right now. I'm going to have to deal with being bit by mosquitoes for a full hour until I am completely ready to get in. Because I am taking it for the team to say to get evidence of UFOs. This is pretty tough to do this in mosquitoes. I hate them. I despise mosquitoes. But I'm putting that aside for one night, 1 hour, to see if I can see anything out of the ordinary in the sky, because that's what really, really, really interests me. And I have seen some weird crap every once in a while. My glasses are all fogged up, but I'll deal with that. I brought my investigative sheet, the new one. I tore it out of my notebook because I couldn't bring my notebook out here. I brought a pen and the key to our house so nobody can lock me out. Investigative sheet has everything I need to do an investigation with. Here it has the checklist that I need to cross out anything that's mundane. Here's the directions key. Here is how to identify things like helicopters, iridium flare, satellites, planes, planets, stars. Stars are pretty obvious. My investigative sheet is very important for me. And if I see anything out of the ordinary, that I think is not just any ordinary star, I will write info on it down. But I don't want to cover every single star and assume it's out of the ordinary, because I have done that in the past. I'm trying to prevent myself from making that mistake again, and that's a really stupid mistake to make, especially when you're trying to find something that looks like a star but acts a little bit weirdly. You have to kind of study it for a while. So, to see if any of these stars are out of the ordinary, what you do is you see if they move at all and twinkle weirdly. See, those two don't twinkle. I'm talking about very brilliant stars that twinkle very quickly, and there's one right up there by that. But I've seen that one before. I believe that's just a star. That's the only one I see right now. The ones I'm looking for are very, very bright, and they move around. So, I think I should put my hood on. Hold on. Right now, I'm going to draw all the stars I see in the sky in their approximate location. So I can see if I can identify them later on with my planetarium software, Stellarium, to see if they're really stars or not. That's probably the best way of doing it, rather than looking for unusual characteristics. So we're going to do that. It's a little bit more, it makes more sense, a little more logical in approach anyway. So I'm going to do this off camera and then report my findings in the next part. I just looked at all the constellations, and every single one is one I recognize, I think. I'll look through Stellarium to see if I can verify them. I'm going to be doing this all the time so I memorize what they look like. It will help a lot if something is out of the ordinary. I look for UFO-like stars, or star-like UFOs, and they will not be in those constellations. So I have to find ones that don't match. I've got to, memorize where everything is. It will help immensely with this kind of thing. I need to wipe down my glasses. Hold on. Right now I see two stars that have weird flickering characteristics. That's a sign of being anomalous light, but I don't know if it is or not. I'm going to describe the constellation above it. 3 stars in a line that's crooked, where the top one is to the left and the bottom and center one are roughly straight down, where the bottom one being a little bit to the right. There's another very faint star almost further down the same direction, bottom and center one continue, and there also is one way down to the left of that, behind the trees. I don't know what it is. These anomalous lights are interesting. This could be just a star, but I want to make sure, it's obsessive. Okay, I checked to see if that star is moving, and it really isn't. If this turns out to be a star later on in planetarium software, it will be problematic at least. I am going to try to see if I can film this and enhance the film later. Hold on while I zoom in. I can't even see when I'm filming it. This piece of crap camera won't even film it. But another weird twinkling object I'm going to try to photograph now. It is right up there, roughly. Okay, so I photographed them. I don't know if anything... I don't know if anything showed up in the photos. I couldn't tell if I was photographing them or not. But I used a pretty good system for photographing stuff I can see by simply covering my eye with the camera, and that should work, theoretically. I mean, so let me describe what's in the night sky right now. this is kind of important. To the left of me, in the direction which is, hold on here. In the direction which is due west, about 45 degrees up is a light that looks like a little star. It's probably a star. A little bit to the right of that is 3 stars in a triangle formation that's very, very long and thin. And the other twinkling light is just south of that, about 30 degrees up in the trees. To the right, in a direction which is roughly north-northwest, is another twinkling light, which could be a star, and I'll decide that later. We have... Get away from me, you fucking bug! We have a triangle constellation with a little dipper thing, which is roughly north of us. That's all you see. It's too bright out because of the fog of the previous nights to notice anything else. So, putting on my hood so no more bugs bug me, or dogs for that matter. I hate dogs because they spread fleas. I hate when people have to walk their dog near our house. I get really itchy tomorrow. I know why. It's something, a little superstition of mine. It has nothing to do with paranormal investigation, but you know, there's nothing unusual out here. There's nothing at all unusual. I've seen a few planes. I've seen the usual stars. I will check in Stellarium tonight to see if any of them are out of the ordinary. The 2 flickering ones, I believe I've seen them before, so it's not like it's anything unusual. So I came out on a bad night. It was annoying, and I didn't see anything, and I don't like that. But at least it's clear, and I can see the sky. Unlike last night, I couldn't see anything at all. So, let me see what time it is. Just west of that thin triangle I mentioned earlier, I saw a sudden flash of light, which I couldn't explain. That's the first thing I've seen that's unexplained tonight. And I just saw another one in the north direction, too. It's interesting. I don't know what I'm dealing with. Pardon my voice, by the way. I did vocals this morning. That's why it's so hoarse. Besides that, I haven't seen anything out of the ordinary that's very documentable. I mean, yeah, I can say it's real, but until I photograph it, it doesn't mean much. I'm trying to get evidence of this. I'm not trying to say I'm seeing weird stuff and not show it on the camera, because I hate shows that do that, and I don't want to be those shows. So I'm going to... I also want to check the sky around me really quickly that I can't see from sitting down. There was a very bright flashing object in the sky up here. I don't know if you can see it. It's extremely bright and it's flashing all the time. I saw something like this last year. It's not a plane. It's moving, but it has no plane-like lights for that bright flashing light. Hold on, I'm going to try to film it for 15 seconds. Yeah, I don't know what it is. It was very weird flashing. But besides the flashing, nothing was out of the ordinary about it. I don't see much I can't explain out here. One time I did see a weird light. I only saw my viewfinder moving across the sky. Didn't see with my own eyes, so I don't know what that was. The funny thing is when I tried to film it, it didn't even show up in the film, which is very weird. I just don't understand that. You know, it's bizarre UFO crap. But what's interesting is I want to check these films to see if I heard anything, more importantly. Because I've been having weird stuff appear in the film as sounds, too. It's not just things you see, too, you know. Besides that, I didn't notice anything. It's kind of weird. There's also a very bright flickering star that's to the left of me, high in the air. You can only see it from the end of the walk. It's up here. I'm going to try to photograph it. Hold on. I just photographed myself in the face by accident, something I did 3 times last September during an investigation. First time tonight. There isn't anything else out of the ordinary that I haven't documented in this video so far. There's another plane and one below it too. So planes, if they're normal planes, I see a red and a white flashing light, I assume plane. If I only see a big bright flashing light, then yeah, it could be a plane, but it could be something else too. I haven't seen anything really out of the ordinary though, and I usually don't, but usually the ones I see are very star looking. They disguise themselves as stars. Probably Polaris. Directly above me anyway. Alright, I'm going to stay out here for another, I don't know, see what time it is inside quickly. Okay, I'm inside and so are a few mosquitoes. And they're so annoying. I did it for a half an hour tonight. An hour is a bit too much with these fucking bugs everywhere. Normally I like to do this stuff late fall, early winter, where it's really cold. Alright, I don't do it during the summer. This is the first time I've ever done it during the summer, and I hate it. I've done an investigation in early September once, and it was terrible with all the bugs everywhere. This is in August, so I don't know what's on these photos. I've got to analyze them. I will do that tonight, but the video itself will be watched later on. You probably won't get this online. See, right now it's Friday. You probably won't even get it until Sunday or Monday next week. I have a whole bunch of other videos which are a lot more important than this. I just want to get this out of the way because it's the only time I can do it, and it's pretty clear out anyway, so it's... So yeah. Okay, I'm inside and so are a few mosquitoes. And they're so annoying. I did it for a half an hour tonight. An hour is a bit too much with these fucking bugs everywhere. Normally I like to do this stuff late fall, early winter, where it's really cold. Alright, I don't do it during the summer. This is the first time I've ever done it during the summer, and I hate it. I've done an investigation in early September once, and it was terrible with all the bugs everywhere. This is in August, so I don't know what's on these photos. I've got to analyze them. I will do that tonight, but the video itself will be watched later on. You probably won't get this online. See, right now it's Friday. You probably won't even get it until Sunday or Monday next week. I have a whole bunch of other videos which are a lot more important than this. I just want to get this out of the way because it's the only time I can do it, and it's pretty clear out anyway, so it's... So yeah, I'm back out about halfway through my investigation. It's 10:30 now, and I'm at 10 o'clock now. I'm going to end at 10:30. I don't see anything out of the ordinary right now. I will stay out an extra half an hour to see. See what is and what isn't. You know, it's so until I see something that is bona fide anomalous on camera, I'm not going to update this anymore. This is going to be me out here braving the bugs and seeing if you can see something. The left mysterious star is actually a star because it's moved its position now. So that's debunked right off the bat. The right one, I'm waiting for it to move. Right now, it's right under a power line that seems to be halfway between my neighbor's porch and their driveway, straight up. There's another plane. Usually when I see UFOs, it's a fluke random thing. I've caught several on film, photographed a few, used analysis of the image to prove it was a UFO. If I ever get anything weird on film, it will be on this documentary though, because that's the way I work. Alright, the other mysterious star, the one that's on the right, is, what direction is it now? It's... I would say the north-northwest at 10:10 p.m. The other mysterious one is in the trees. At this point, I can't see it, but I know exactly where it is, kind of. The other one I was talking about is about 45 degrees up, maybe 50 degrees. This one is more like 30 degrees up at this point, and it's northwest at 10:10 or 10:11. Say 10:11. I don't know, but one of those two. I don't know if you can see this, but I see a little faint twinkling object just to the left of the top star in the thin triangle I keep mentioning. I'm not sure, but I think the second mysterious star I photographed earlier tonight is also moving, proving it's not really anything unusual, I think. I want to confirm that maybe 5 minutes later. Okay, so the next day, my night investigation last night has been completed, and I looked through the videos and the images and enhanced them and found some interesting evidence to show off. But before I get to that, I want to show something that showed up in one video while I was recording my little tiny night watch on a cloudy night 2 nights ago. That didn't reveal anything. Besides this little bit of evidence of something that's not UFO related, by the way. In this video, don't look at the red light, that's part of my camera while I'm recording the video you're watching. At the beginning of this video, there's a mysterious light, you just saw it, that blinks on and off. It shows up later on in the video for only a few seconds, or a split second really. This thing only shows up for less than 1 second, twice in the video, and I can't explain it. You'd say it might be the light on my camera, but this thing is the light on the camera is constant. This little light here that shows up in 1 second isn't. It's the wrong color. It's orange versus red. I don't know what it is. I photographed it. There are no light sources out there to account for this. The ceiling light in the porch has no bulb in it, so you can't even turn it on. There are no other light sources anywhere near that, in that direction, at all. So I don't know what it is. It's weird. I only saw it in 2 nights ago's night watch. Last night it was a no-show. It didn't show up at all. But maybe I didn't look at the videos close enough, but I'm pretty sure I would have noticed it right away. So that's for Thursday night's Weird Oddity. In terms of actual evidence that those 2 starlights I saw last night aren't UFOs, I had photographed them earlier, and I also described in the sky where they are, and the time too. So I did a video describing what was in the night sky, and I was describing where the leftmost one was, and I described a triangle-shaped constellation that's long and thin. And here it is in the stellarium. I went in the stellarium, figured out the time the video was taken out on my computer, and found this triangle constellation. According to my video, to the left of that is where this bright, flickering light is. But notice there's no stars in stellarium that are bright enough to be this. And when I was in stellarium, I saw no stars that flickered like it in that area. So that's proof that wasn't a star. The other one I couldn't prove. I don't know what it was. I couldn't get accurate data on it. It could be Polaris, it could be something else. That's the rightmost one. What I do want to show off really quickly is enhanced photos I took of this star. This is an enhanced photo taken with a special program, the GIMP, modified with the GIMP painting program, to enhance the image to show shapes. Every single one of these hollow circles is dust, and I know that from experience looking at many photos like this. This long, thin thing, however, isn't. It's got a gray and white center. That, I believe, this is a mysterious light I was photographing. It is not a star, because this camera, when you photograph the night sky, doesn't pick up starlight. It's too faint. Or else I would have seen a lot more non-solid, non-hollow, dust-like lights that were not dust-like. Like I would see a lot more things like this that don't have a hollow center like dust is on this image. Also, I put that image through another filter to corroborate it's there, not an artifact. And there it is. This is with an enhancement filter. That was with a shape finding filter. So there's a bright object I can't explain in the sky. I don't know what it is. I can't understand it. Who knows what it is? So, I'm saying this is a UFO or unidentified flying object. To me, it's unidentified, and it's definitely moving across the sky. And if Stellarium says it isn't a star, it's moving on its own power. So it's pretending to be a star. And I finally got positive evidence that these things are not stars at all. Period. So very interesting results for this investigation, I must say.